Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown. SportsCenter's rolling in an autumn tradition. When darkness sets in on Halloween night, he will rise from the tour's great pumpkin patch, and he will pass out plenty of presents for all those who have been really, really good, and all those who have been...
Hey, I didn't take your stupid blankets, so knock it off, Linus. Back home, you go to what has been a baseball bumpkin patch,
where a decade ago, legendary pumpkin kept rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling.
Rolling like smashing. Nah, it's too easy.
Rocking like this.
And away they go. Spot broke early from the far outside. Good dog Carl races second. Here comes Fido driving through to be third. They come to the wire. Cigar's no dog, and he's in the classic.
Trick-or-treaters gather. I got the sweets.
I look like a fish.
I got the salts.
I got a rock. Now watch me jam it.
Good grief, Charlie Brown. It can't be. Am I dreaming?
Ah! Wah, 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 wah.
It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, on SportsCenter.
Which is next.
That may be as good as it gets, actually. Kenny Mayne and Jason Jackson here to do this edition of SportsCenter.
Coming up over the next 60 minutes, Agassi and Sampras go head-to-head in Germany, and we'll look ahead to Cigar's run for history. But first, a tough day for Tiger off the course, Kenny.
He did have weightier matters than golf to deal with on Friday. The success he's enjoyed so far speaks to the fact the pressure of golf is minuscule to Tiger Woods. On Friday, though, along came some of the real stuff. His father, Earl Woods, was admitted to a Tulsa hospital at 3 a.m. with chest pains. His condition was later determined not to be life-threatening. But Tiger didn't know that until 5 a.m. when he finally got back to sleep. In the meantime, ESPN has learned that Earl Woods is in a coronary care unit, may have to stay for as many as 5 days. As for Tiger, he went out and tried to carry on in round 2 of the Tour Championship. And to that we go. Here's Tiger's day. Obviously, the emotion showing. He was praised by other golfers for just hanging in there. Here's Tiger now on the 9th hole, looking for par. Didn't find it. He ended up bogeying, falls to +8. Then on 14 for par. No. The putt's going wayward. What else? Tiger on the 15th. Second shot. You know he can blast it this time. Too far. Past the green. Into the camera tower. He finished it +8. His worst round ever as a pro. Of course, this time with good reason.
This fight, I didn't want to be there today because there are more important things in life than golf. And I love my dad to death, and I'm going to go see him right now.
Any thoughts of withdrawing?
No.
He'll press on as we do with the others who fared better on Friday. Thursday's co-leader, Tom Layman, on the 7th hole, chipping from just off the green into the clown's mouth. Goes to -4, keeps a share of the lead. Vijay Singh, tough start on the 8th. Putt for par. No. Double bogeys here. He goes to -1. Friday's early leader, Steve Jones, trouble as well. Third shot on par 4 9th. Hot. Out front. You're the man! Layman sticks it within 8 feet of the hole. The par 3 11th. Layman would birdie, go to -5 and into the lead. Singh, he then find his stroke. That thing drops. Short putt for birdie, goes to -2. Brad Faxon, he stays in contention. There's his name. The 10-footer. It's all good. He finished at even par. Layman continuing, though, to build his lead. Par 5, 13th hole, third shot. There's his picture. Boom, right up near the hole. He would birdie, go to -7. Singh trying to stick with him. 13th, third shot. Rolls within inches, and he would birdie that. Finished at -3 after 2 rounds. Steve Stricker still in the hunt. Hole 17. That's good. Stricker is 5 strokes back at -2. Tom Watson, the birdie from way back through the shadows even. He finished at even par for the tournament. There's a leftover from Lollapalooza 96. Layman could not be touched. Second shot on 15. Puts it within a foot of the flag. Layman has it going. Take me to your leaders. It's Layman in front by 4 shots or strokes. The first round co-leader Vijay Singh was 1 over Friday, stands in second. Steve Stricker is 2 under and he's in third. 4 golfers are even par and tied for 4th, Faxon being the last of those on that list. To the left now you see some of we like to call other notables, noted this time for not doing so well. Norman +5, Els +6, Faldo +7. The leader will speak with you now.
Making 4 birdies in a row is, I mean, it's a lot of luck and you know, a few good things happening, but I played extremely well the back 9. I hit it close a lot and made a few putts, and you know, he managed to get it in without too many major disasters.
Attention viewers, round 3 will show up inside your television set Saturday if you tune to our friends at ABC. The play begins at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
Former major leaguer and older brother of Yankees manager Joe Torre, Frank Torre, underwent heart transplant surgery Friday in New York. The 64-year-old Torre has suffered 3 heart attacks and has been awaiting a donor for over 4 months. Joe had a chance to visit with Frank the day after leading the Yanks to the series for the first time in 15 years. 4 hours after the Yanks won to take the series lead on Thursday, it was learned that a donor was available. Doctors say the 4-hour procedure went well.
This puts the World Series definitely on the back burner, Carl. This is something we've been waiting for 3 months. And, you know, it's probably longer than the 30 years I've been waiting for the World Series because I know what my brother's been going through. Well, I'm going to go over there this afternoon. I know the doctor told him that the last thing Frank said to him was, wish my brother luck. And he said, well, when you wake up, he'll be here to hand you a baseball. So that's my plan.
We think he's much better off with this heart than his old heart watching the ball games.
Doctors also said Frank may be off his breathing tube as early as Friday night and should be able to watch Saturday's Game 6 of the World Series from the intensive care unit at the Columbia Presbyterian Medical Center. Speaking of the Fall Classic, there must be something about the hotels in the Big Apple and Atlanta because the road team has felt right at home, winning every game of this series, marking the first time in 90 years the visiting team has won the first 5 games. The Braves hope that trend continues since they are currently trailing 3-2 following a 2-0 lead. Carl Ravage and his voice have more from the Bronx.
Thank you, and we are back, though none of us ever thought we would be. After we went back to Atlanta, down 2-0, who would have thought the Yankees would have come back to lead 3-2? That is the situation which faces us now. As far as what went on Friday, the Braves flew into New York late in the afternoon and did not even think about coming over to Yankee Stadium, probably trying to avoid what happened last Friday, when, of course, it took them 4 hours to make it from the airport to the stadium. As for the Yankees, things are going so well, they showed up. About 75% for an optional workout. Tino Martinez will be back in the lineup for Game 6. He took his swings. As far as the 3-2 lead, boy, what a few extra steps make as far as Paul O'Neill goes and that final out in Game 5.
Those things happen so fast, there's no really game plan to it. You just try to get yourself ready, and when the ball's hit, you go to the ball as quick as you can. But the ball carried a lot more than I thought it was, and obviously if that's a regular season game, not much is said about it, but everything's kind of blown up in the World Series. But I was just glad when I finally caught the ball.
Your reaction settled out. Was that more about yourself and the ability of the catcher, or the fact that you're 1 win away from a championship?
A little of both. I mean, it was a big win for us when you win a game 1-0, and also it's frustrating to not be able to take off and run the way you want to. But anyway we got it. We made some good plays out there. Straw made a great play. Charlie Hayes made a great play. And Andy made a great play. And he pitched a great game for us. And, when you win a 1-run game, 1-0, I mean, against Smoltz or somebody of his caliber, it makes it a huge game.
This is a very difficult series to figure out because the Braves win 2 here. You figure that you go back and it's all over. Now you come here and you figure Yanks win. I wouldn't go that way, would you?
Well, you don't figure anything. You go out and you play the games. They're a great team, obviously. They're world champions. We're trying to get where they were last year. And, sometimes the last game's the hardest one to get, so we got to realize that. Enjoy the first 5 today, but when we go out there tomorrow, Maddox is no easier than anybody else. He's a great pitcher also, so hopefully we'll have a little bit better luck off him this time.
And Paul O'Neill says he will be ready to play in Game 6. As for the pitching matchup, a rematch of Game 2. Jimmy Key will face Greg Maddux. Maddux was dominant in that game. In fact, Maddux has been dominant over the 90s. But Jimmy Key says he is not overwhelmed or intimidated by the past.
I love challenges, and, just speaking on my part, I wasn't satisfied with the way I pitched. I mean, it was, so-so in my mind. And, on certain nights you can win that way, but not in a game like Greg threw against me the other night. So, I'm just going to try to better my performance next time around, and hopefully we can, have a better idea of what Greg's going to try to do.
As for the numbers in the postseason, pretty equal. Jimmy Key 4-2, Greg Maddux 7-4, ERAs 3.5, 3.31. Those numbers are equal, but Greg Maddux has stepped it up in the last 2 postseason appearances. Look at what he has done. Game 6, NLCS, 6 hits, no walks. As far as the World Series, there's the 6 hits, there are the no walks. 1 earned run in the Game 6 NLCS, and of course he shut them out in the World Series. I'm joined now by Peter Gammons and Dave Campbell, who, at least for now, have better voices than I do. As far as the Braves pitchers go, they have shut down, at least the starters have, the Yankees. But the Yankees have made them work for it, haven't they?
I think more than any other team the Braves have faced this year, the Yankees make the Braves starters really work. John Smoltz, game 1, 104 pitches in 6 innings. Tom Glavine, 111 in 7 innings. Denny Nagel, 93 in 5 innings. And John Smoltz, 136 pitches in 8 innings. The Braves pitchers pride themselves on having low pitch count. Now, the antithesis of this was Greg Maddux. In game 2, he was absolutely sensational. Great location, changed speeds, and had late movement on his pitches. Also threw 24 out of 29 first pitch strikes. He had such great late movement. Watch Cecil. He thinks this ball's middle of the plate, just comes in and eats him up. Slow tapper. Same thing Wade Boggs, little cutter back in on the hands. Cecil thinks it's in the middle of the plate. Nope, late movement, easy ground ball, and then the big pitch in the game, the double play ball. Boggs hit into in the 6th inning. But back in game 6 of the LCS against the Cardinals, Maddux used the curveball quite a bit early. He didn't feature that pitch hardly at all against the Yankees, so maybe that'll be something new. Now you think, how do you attack Maddux? Do you put right or left-handed batters in there? Well, the numbers say right-handed batters do better, so I would say maybe Charlie Hayes will be in there in the lineup. Certainly Cecil will be in there. And Peter, I'm sure the Yankees have some kind of a plan against him because he dominated in game 2.
They did a lot of talking about Maddux today. In fact, Cecil Fielder talked to Gary Sheffield when Sheffield was in their clubhouse the other day. Talked a lot about the approach to go after Maddux. What they're going to try to do is what a lot of National League teams have tried, and the Indians did last year, which is get up on the plate, try to hit the ball away. What will happen is, we know Maddux will jam them a lot. They're going to have to get a couple of guys hit. We'll see what happens. People have tried a lot of things against Maddux, and he could still beat them.
And it doesn't seem as if anything works. As far as this being our first off day after 5 straight games, appropriate to talk about the on-again, off-again labor situation. Appears to be a breakthrough.
There is. I mean, Randy Levine and Don Fehr do have a deal, and Levine has gotten approval from Bud Selig. Now, they haven't announced it yet. In fact, they don't know whether it's going to be announced Saturday or Sunday. They're waiting for Selig to talk to all the rest of the owners. But it's not very much different from what they agreed to on August 11th. The players get service time as expected. There is a second tax-free year, but that's changed around a little bit. The players have made a number of additional concessions, most of which are financial. But the most important thing is, once Selig gets that vote from the owners in about a week, we don't have to hear the words baseball and labor in the same sentence until the year 2003.
Which would be cause for celebration. Speaking of celebration, they had to go out and get about 50 cases of champagne because nobody thought we were coming back here. We will be back later in SportsCenter, talk about one of the major differences between the two clubs, and that is the depth. For Dave Campbell and Peter Gammons, I'm Carl Ravitch.
Well, Carl hooks himself up with a lozenge. Let's check this. Yes, okay. Check this out. Overall, the team playing at home with a 3-2 lead has won the series 13 of 19 times. That scenario has occurred only 5 times since 1969. Only the 79 O's lost Game 6 at home, and eventually the entire series. The Pittsburgh Pirates were the history makers. The Braves would love to join the club. Kenny?
High time we did some hockey. This time not a lot to do as only 2 games were played on Friday. I think most of the players got the night off as a makeup for having to work Thursday on United Nations Day. Not the Florida Panthers, though. They were working, and who wants a day off anyway when the standings show you're the only team without a loss so far? Florida at home against the Rangers. Huddle up. Team unity for the Rangers trying to get it done. Second period, Panthers 2-1. Scott Melleby. Rob Niedermayer's in front, puts it past Richter. It's 3-1, Niedermayer's 4th goal of the season. Third period now, Panthers 4-1. Power play, Per Gustafsson. The shot deflected by Dave Lowry, his 2nd goal of the year. 5-1. 4 minutes left, Panthers up 5-3. Adam Braves, the breakaway. Mark Messier shoots, scores.
A short-handed goal.
And the Rangers cut the lead to 5-4. 18 seconds later, we counted pass to Robert Schwela. In front of the net, he shoots, he scores his 2nd of the year, and the Panthers win 6-4. The Panthers stay undefeated this season this way. They scored a team record 5 power play goals. Florida opened the season 1 for 30 on power plays, but in the last 2 games, the count is 8 for 14 to move to 6-0 with 3 ties. The Hawks, the Red Wings, the Shanahan, the helmet, the strap. 1-0 Chicago in the first. Gary Suter, the slap shot. Murray Craven gets the rebound. He finds Eric Daze. He gets the goal. The Blackhawks up 2-0. Daze's 1st of the year. 2nd period, still 2-0. Slava Kozlov skates in, beats Jimmy Waite. How did he beat him? This way, right through the skates. Somehow that got through. Still 2-1. Shanahan out in front. He misses once, gets his rebound. Doesn't miss that. Ties the game at 2 apiece. Now under 10 seconds in regulation. Martin Lapointe, the shot. It hits the post. Another look. You'll see that it hits the post in this other look. Look at it hit the post. And a regulation. Overtime. Shanahan, great opportunity. Off a weight stick, then off the crossbar, then into the stands. Shanahan, the near miss, or the near make, ends up tied at 2 apiece. They say a tie is like kissing your sister. I say it's like drinking rancid buttermilk. The goalies have to be proud, though. Jimmy Wade of Chicago was recalled from Indianapolis earlier in the day. He stopped 39 shots. Kevin Hodson of Detroit faced 28 shots, and he let just 2 go by. In fact, in his first start last season, he shut out the Blackhawks. That's an interesting note.
When SportsCenter continues, we'll head to Phoenix, where the Winston Cup points leader might be at risk of being able to tally more points. We'll check the damage in a moment. Also ahead on the program, the Knicks and the Rockets were throwing hands like the title was online Friday. We'll see why. Also, we'll head back to the Bronx to analyze whether Tom Glavine can be a hero like he was last year. Stay with us. This is SportsCenter.
I'm not everyone, I'm me. So when I decided to quit smoking, I did not choose that one-size-fits-all patch. I chose Nicorette gum. Nicorette has this flexible dosing schedule that helped me control my cravings. It let me use the strength I needed, the amount I needed, when I needed it. Nicorette was personal. It fit me. You know, me the non-smoker. Me.
Nicorette gum will help you quit smoking successfully by helping you control your cravings. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best. 2 of America's favorite instructional videos are now available only through this special TV offer. Get tips from Steve Miserak, Pretty Boy Floyd, Iwo Mataya, and other pool greats. Now, for a limited time, you can order both videos for the price of one. Learn the secrets of breaks, banks, defense, position, angles, and trick shots like the Massey and the jump.
Take it from me, The Miz. When you purchase Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best, you'll learn everything you need to know how to shoot pool like a pro. With these 2 tapes, you can do almost anything except beat me.
World champion Steve Miserak takes you through the best ways to improve your game. Call the number on your screen and we'll send you this wonderful 2-video cassette collection for just $19.95 plus postage and handling.
2 for the price of 1? How can you go wrong?
These videos have never been offered together and are only being offered for a limited time. Call now. Have your credit card ready. An operator is waiting for your call. Sorry, no CODs. Call now.
Welcome back. Andre Agassi has had his time, but right now, Pete Sampras is the best tennis player in America and the world. Today, Sampras and Agassi got together at the Eurocard Open for one of tennis's marquee matchups, their second meeting of the year. While Andre does not strike you as a guy who backs down from a challenge, he has not always met the challenge while smacking rackets with Pete. Sampras has won 10 of their 18 meetings. Off to Germany for the meeting. Number 19 is seen on ESPN. First set, Agassi serving near court. Sampras hits the forehand winner behind Agassi. Sampras would break and go up 5-3, wins the first set, 6-4. Second set, Agassi serves far court, comes to the net for the drop shot. Sampras on the run. Lovely get. Sampras would break again, up 4-0. Sampras serving for the match in the far court. He does this a lot. Sampras wins 6-4, 6-1, breaking Andre 5 of 7 chances. Just 57 minutes of Pete's time was used to dismiss of Mr. Agassi in straight sets. This is Sampras' 3rd straight win over Agassi. Pete will take on Jan Siemerink in the semis on Saturday, which you can see on the Deuce live at 8 a.m. Eastern. Boris Becker will battle Michael Chang in the other semifinal. Kenny.
To the NBA, and one who will not be part of it for some time. Houston's Brent Price was to be the starting point guard. Now he's out for as many as 4 months after surgery on his left arm Friday. Price was hurt in Thursday's game against San Antonio. He's carrying around 7 screws and a plate in his left elbow now. Some of those who did play in the Knicks-Rockets game Friday will soon be carrying around less cash. Headquarters will seek a review of the following videotape. Let's check it out as a group. First quarter, Charles Barkley for the basket. No. Charles Oakley takes him down from behind. What the world needs now is love.
Boy, and that might be exaggerating.
Patrick Ewing and Kevin Willis, spot shadowed. Homo sapiens are territorial and will defend themselves when threatened. These two defend themselves because they were threatened, and they get 2 technicals and they're gone. Then something as nutty as all this. The lights went out. About 25 minutes, external power failure. They got it together, and everybody cooled out and made nice again. Back to basketball. 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it's Larry Johnson going to the rack. He finished with 14 points. The game is fairly stupid. As for the score, Knicks won at 79-75. Allen Houston, who did not get tossed, scored 17 points for the Knicks. Hakeem Olajuwon got tossed the conventional way. He fouled out, but not before scoring 15. That's team high for Houston. The Blazers beat the Grizz by 21. Aaron McKie came off the bench, as do all players, unless they stand the whole game. Anyway, he had 8 in the fourth and 14 total. Portland took things over in that fourth period, extending what was a 7-point lead after 3. Another scorer, you see listed at the bottom, the Nuggets trashed the Clippers 113-84. They did so by shooting 64% from the field. LaFonso Ellis had 22 points for Denver.
With the Lakers' addition of Shaquille O'Neal, they plan to take the Western Conference crown away from the reigning champs and make a run for the league title. But now that the Sonics have calmed down Sean Kemp concerning his contract situation, they will be at full strength to defend such an assault and make a run for a repeat appearance in the finals. Both teams were in Boise, Idaho on Friday for a tune-up. Shaq gets the feed, the hook, the foul. Lakers up 50-44 at halftime. George Karl, his team struggling. More Shaq. Gets the offensive board, hammers it with 2 hands, 13.6 boards for Shaq, but the Sonics rally. Sean Kemp gets the feed, throwdown. 30 points, 9 boards for Kemp as the Sonics win. Mr. Kemp was pleased with 10 of his 19 shots from the floor because those went in. Detlef Schrempf added 21 points and 11 boards. Said Ceballos had 15 points in the loss. Still to come, Cigar will make a run for the border. Can the 6-year-old make history at Saturday's Breeders' Cup Classic? We'll have a preview. Also check to see if Tennessee is ready to put a kink in Alabama's undefeated armor.
The shocking stories about Bob Torricelli continue. Matthew Seymour, the young man Torricelli did not nominate for West Point, but claimed he did, now says Torricelli's campaign tried to bribe him to keep silent.
They offered me a paid position on the International Relations Committee in an obvious attempt to buy my silence during this campaign.
These scandals have raised new questions about Bob Torricelli's character and fitness for office.
This is a test. This is only a test. We're conducting a test for the debut of ESPN News. On November 1st at 7 p.m., we will interrupt our regularly scheduled ESPN programming to bring you the special 1-hour premiere of ESPN News, the 24-hour sports news network from ESPN. Be here for the network premiere of ESPN News, November 1st at 7 p.m. This concludes this test.
We're back. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. But if we could get a moment with an animal named Rick's Natural Star, we might ask, what are you doing at the Breeders' Cup? Actually, it's the owner who should be questioned. The New York Times wrote that Rick's entry borders on animal cruelty. You see, the 7-year-old hasn't raced in more than a year and hasn't won a race in 3 years. On now to the horse who has lost 2 of his last 3 lately, but remains the favorite for the Breeders' Cup Classic at Woodbine outside Toronto on Saturday. The Great Cigar, the one to beat. Hank Goldberg, the one to analyze.
In the last year, Cigar has competed halfway around the world in Dubai, from East Coast to West Coast with a stop in between, and now comes north of the border for what could be his last stop. All that travel has to be tiring, and that might suggest that this is not the same Cigar that we saw last year's Breeders' Cup at Belmont.
I don't think the horse can be at its best for 2 years straight. I mean, there's a point that you are at your best, and there's a point that you're less than your best, and you can't maintain it for 2 years.
I suppose everybody has begun to expect great things from him, and nothing less than what he's done before, and that's very hard to repeat over a 20-race period. I think the only thing I can hope for is that he runs back to some of his better races, and ordinarily that's good enough to win.
On the last day of training, Cigar galloped 1.25 miles. He was comfortable and appeared to want to do more. But will he be good enough at 5:30 p.m. on Saturday? I really don't want to take a stand against Cigar, but watch out for Will's Way, who beat Skip Away, who beat Cigar earlier this month. As usual, Wayne Lucas has the largest contingent of horses here, 10 in all. But he seems to have a particular fondness for Serena Song, who will be in the distaff.
It would probably give me the most personal satisfaction from all angles to see her waltz down through there. And she's going to get the world's record for earnings of all time if that happens.
That record is for fillies and would put her earnings at $3.5 million, which, as they say in this business, ain't hay. Now, I believe that her forward speed will help her to get it done. Horses that come from behind have done well in the juvenile filly race. That sets it up for Storm Song. And in DeMille, the Hoss is the pick to upset Mark of Esteem. We're all going to win with the weather. They're projecting 17 Celsius. Go figure that out. From Toronto, I'm Hank Goldberg, ESPN.
Hank, that has me confused, but then again, I got a C in math for everyday living. Anyway, the smarter guys got together, and here's how it figures out. Double that 17 Celsius, add 32, and that puts the expected temperature in the mid-60s, which is pleasant for viewing, but a terrible speed rating.
Peyton Manning passed at will against the Crimson Tide last year and has plans for a repeat at Neyland Stadium on Saturday. But undefeated Alabama won't be singing Rocky Top along the way. We'll take a look ahead. Also coming your way, Tim Hardaway and the Heat provide a fourth-quarter heat wave as Miami tries to come back against Atlanta in the preseason action.
I love my country.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Best city in the world. I like the Midwestern attitude. I love Hawaii. Buffalo, New York.
California. United States of America.
USA. Kid, you got the talent, but you got a problem. You're too nice. We'll fix that. Okay, Mr. Lambert. That's how you do it. Good start, kid. Tomorrow, headbutts.
Okay, Berman, tell us what your nicknames are going to be this Sunday. We want to win that ESPN name game sweepstakes. Ben Winter Coates. Eric sleeping with the enemy.
To enter, watch NFL Primetime Sunday night, November 3rd. Write down a Berman nickname you hear and call the number shown. You could win a trip for two to the 1997 Super Bowl. Watch NFL Primetime and your nickname could be prize winner. Visa, the official card of the NFL, presents ESPN's name game sweepstakes.
We can't hear you.
Promo pile, attention cable viewers, Saturday morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern from Iowa City. Chris Fowler, coach and the quarterback, get you set for Iowa and Ohio State. It's college game day. ESPN, this channel right here, not only talks ball, but shows it too. 12:30 p.m. Eastern, Penn State and Indiana. Then at 7, it's Miami and West Virginia. Hey, we've got 2 channels and the third on the way. On ESPN2 Saturday, you watch Wisconsin and Michigan State at 12:30. Then at 7, Michigan and Minnesota. If you're not getting ESPN2, try to get ESPN News then.
When Alabama seemed to have their hands full in a win over Bowling Green to open the season, even the Tide faithful had to think the season would be a rough one, and it has been for Alabama's opponents. On Saturday, the 7-0 Crimson Tide will roll into Tennessee's Neyland Stadium, looking for the respect an undefeated team deserves. Steve Cyphers is in Knoxville.
Alabama finally got some peace and quiet Friday afternoon when the players arrived at Neyland Stadium. For the first time this week, they weren't hearing what they heard all week long in Tuscaloosa. Do you know all the words?
Oh, no, I don't pay attention to the song.
Instead, as one of 4 Crimson Tide defensive linemen, Kelvin Moore will pay attention to applying pressure to Tennessee's trigger man, Peyton Manning.
We got to rely mostly on ourselves, you know, as a challenge to get to him. We can't blitz a lot because he's a smart quarterback, and he reads the blitz. It can be a big play for them. If they can slow him down, they obviously slow us down.
Their first over the Tide in 10 years.
That was my first time ever experiencing that, and the feeling was, I mean, it was a feeling that you can't describe. That game last year's gone. There's nothing we can do about it, but there's something we can do about this Saturday. We just can't hang our head on the win we had last year. We got to come in this weekend, be prepared to play the best team, really one of the best teams in the country.
Hines' respect for Alabama is not echoed by odds makers who tagged the Tide a 15-point underdog in this one, despite their 7-0 record, despite a winning streak here at Neyland Stadium that dates back to 1984.
You don't want anybody to give you anything as far as respect. I think respect is something that has to be earned. And, you know, as long as we're going out each week and winning ball games, that respect's going to come.
In Knoxville, Steve Cyphers, ESPN.
Steve, thanks a lot. This should be an interesting passing battle to watch. Peyton Manning lit up Bama with 301 yards and 3 touches through the air last year. However, this year's Alabama defense has only allowed one opposing QB to exceed 200 yards in a game this year. Kenny?
On to the college courts, and in this case, a Utah court of law. Brian Ruffner, a senior forward for BYU, has left his team and his school for violating the honor code in Provo. He is charged with even more than that. Ruffner is among 7 defendants accused of scamming Angia Communications in Provo of more than $200,000. He's facing a second-degree felony charge and a civil suit. The suit contends that Ruffner received fraudulent credit and endorsed and cashed forged checks. The suit does allow that Ruffner has repaid $11,000. That was his alleged take in the scam. We will return to a much more festive SportsCenter story upon return. The seniors in Maui playing some golf, and we'll get to the NBA beat right after that ball goes into the hole. The Spurs will be counting on Vernon Maxwell, much more than originally thought. Stay around.
Imagine your favorite NFL team drafting the fiercest competitor ever. Warner Brothers' Tasmanian Devil. He's about to score for your team with these exciting new Taz in the NFL watches. There's one for each and every team, both NFC and AFC. Even the Carolina Panthers. That's 30 exciting designs in all. Each watch features an accurate Swiss quartz movement, water resistance to 100 feet, an Action Taz NFL team logo, and a unique football second head. Taz Fever is sweeping the country, so score big with this special TV offer. Only $29.95. It's a devil of a deal, so pick your favorite NFL team and order now.
Call toll-free 1-800-554-9000. That's 1-800-554-9000. Or send $29.95 plus shipping to Taz and the NFL watches, P.O. Box 213, Plainville, Connecticut. For faster delivery, use your credit card and call 1-800-554-9000.
Where do you turn for college football's most complete Saturday preview show? The best in the game. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Kirk Herbstreit bring you the inside scoop on the day's biggest games. College Game Day, Saturday at 11:30, only on ESPN.
Of the following, which is the one you'd circle as in doesn't belong when thinking of leisure time in Maui? Golf, body surfing, or pheasant hunting? Then again, if a leisure sport is also your work, who needs to deal with 8-foot waves at Little Beach and end up wearing your swim trunks around your face? Hale Irwin went pheasant hunting Friday after the first round of the Kaanapali Classic, and let's go to that golf event as a group. It's beautiful over there. John Bees, par 4 16, the iron approach from the rough. One bounce. Off the stick. Bees ended up birding the hole. Hale Irwin, before he pheasant hunted, 12-foot birdie, also a 12-foot birdie. Looks good. Irwin birdied 5 of the first 7. Bob Murphy, you're the man! Tee shot on the 159-yard par 3 17th. Nearly into the clown's mouth. He eventually birdied it. 60-year-old Bob Charles. He's a senior, but he's active. 20-foot birdie, it's good. Take me to your leaders. Irwin in front by 1 over Bob Charles, then Bill Holstead in 3rd. Masaru Amano was 4th and Graham Marsh 5th. Nice and orderly. Each guy one back of the next, with the exception of Irwin, of course, who was trying to regain the earnings lead. Gave it up last week to Jim Colbert. And it's Colbert who shot just 1 stroke better for the course record. He said that back in '91. Irwin almost got him. Round 2, ESPN, 5 Eastern, Saturday.
2 seasons ago, before the arrival of Pat Riley to the South Florida scene, the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat cut a 3-player, 2-draft pick deal headlined by Steve Smith to Atlanta and Kevin Willis to Miami. Well, Smith is the only player still in place from this deal. Willis, while injured, actually not injured anymore, playing, is with the Rockets this season. The Heat and the Hawks working out the kinks on Friday. Dikembe First half, no respect for fellow G-Town alum Alonzo Mourning. Later in the first, Mourning with a little revenge. Tim Hardaway to Zoe.
With a finish.
Nice. Hawks led at the half, though. Second half, Christian Leitner Ryan Smith, who led it 3. Hawks up 74-68. Heat fight back. Isaac Austin seals off Leitner, gets the hoop and the foul, and the Heat win a close one. Isaac Austin had 20 points, leading the Heat to their 4th straight preseason victory. Austin made 8 of 11 shots for his highest preseason scoring total. Zoe added 11 points and 8 boards. The Heat and the Hawks open the season against one another on November 1st in Miami. T-Wolves and Celtics. Early first quarter, watch number 5, Doug West's left ankle.
Double team
Ouch.
on West. Nice.
West did not return. 2 seconds left in the first. James Robinson's half-court shot.
Lets it fly.
Yeah! T-Wolves up 38-25. Fourth quarter, Stephon Marbury to Kevin Garnett. That's artistic. T-Wolves up 106-92. But the Celtics would rally. David Wesley with the steal to Dino Raja for the lay-in. It would not be enough. Celtics lose by 1. Garnett scored 21 of his 25 points in the first 3 quarters of the T-Wolves' 1-point victory. Minnesota committed 10 turnovers in the fourth, paving the way for the Celtics' comeback. Practice will make perfect. Lindsey Hunter dropped in 24 points as the Pistons handled the Magic on Friday. Hunter knocked down 6 threes in the game. The Hornets were horrible from the floor, shooting 33% in their 88-75 loss to the Bullets. Muggsy Bogues missed his 5th straight game with continued left knee problems. Kenny?
The NBA season hasn't even started, and we've already got talk of payback. At least that's part of what our man David Aldridge is talking about in the NBA beat when it comes to Chris Webber and a December game of redemption. Here's David with the NBA beat.
Circle December 15th on your NBA calendar. That's when Chris Webber and the Washington Bullets will visit the Golden State Warriors. 2 seasons ago, Webber originally injured his shoulder against Golden State. Last season, Webber went for 40 points against his old team. And even though Don Nelson is long gone, Webber is still embittered about his former teammate's silence after he blasted Nelson. And that emotion weighed heavily on Webber while he was injured last season.
Those guys, Chris Gatlin, and then he wouldn't even speak up for me. Those guys know it. Chris Mullin, he knows it. And it was just the fact that, man, I guess I thought everybody loved me. I thought I had a comfort zone. I thought loyalty meant something, friendship meant something. So you have to understand, it wasn't just the injury. It was still pain from Nelson and wondering, you know, you guys still won't say nothing and he's going.
The Mavericks insist that Mark Aguirre will not be considered for the general manager's job following Keith Grant's sudden resignation last week. But many around the league think the ex-Maverick and Piston could wind up with the job anyway. Acquaintances of Grant say that the 16-year veteran of the organization took the high road by citing burnout as his reason for quitting, rather than pressure from within. The Suns are struggling for consistency as they attempt to run the triangle offense. Rex Chapman, who signed just last week, has picked up the offense as well as, if not better, than anyone else. But Cotton Fitzsimmons, who first learned the triangle from Tex Winter in the late 60s, is planning to stick with it. Quoting Fitzsimmons, "When Chicago has trouble with it, they have a guy who can bail them out. I haven't figured out yet who's bailing me out." One topic that should be discussed at next week's Board of Governors meeting is a long-argued proposal to expand NBA rosters from their current 12 players to 15. Uninjured players continue to be hidden on the injured list, and several teams are hoping to put a stop to the abuse. The Spurs probably would have needed Vernon Maxwell anyway, but with Chuck Person looking like he'll miss the entire season following surgery, San Antonio will definitely need the guard's firepower. So far, the Nocturnal one has been a model citizen. Maxwell has signed off on an idea of GM Greg Popovich. Maxwell has agreed to be the commissioner of a midnight basketball league. At least, Popovich said, we'll know where he's at. On the NBA Beat, I'm David Aldridge, ESPN.
David, stay on the beat. We've not forgotten about the World Series. We've just saved some of it in a shrewd marketing strategy. More of Game 6 news coming up soon.
front airbag is a very powerful device designed to help protect an adult, not a child. Because of the size of the bag and the speed of its inflation, Volvo believes no child should ever be placed in the front seat of a car. Any car. Drive safely.
You've spent your entire life sleeping in an old-fashioned flat bed, but now you have the opportunity to find out about a better, healthier way to relax and sleep. Get this free information kit about Craftmatic adjustable beds. Call toll-free and a helpful operator will mail you a free Craftmatic adjustable bed catalog and this special rebate certificate. It's worth $200 off any Craftmatic Model 1 adjustable bed. Why is Craftmatic making this rebate offer? It's our way of saying thanks for taking the time to find out about Craftmatic. There is, of course, absolutely no obligation for calling toll-free and requesting this helpful information kit. So if you have any interest in adjustable beds, pick up your phone and call now.
Call toll-free 1-800-554-9000. That's 1-800-554-9000. Toll-free 1-800-554-9000.
Thanks to the New York Yankees, a team has won games 3, 4, and 5 after dropping the first 2 games for the 9th time. Ironically, the last team to accomplish such a feat, the Atlanta Braves over the Twins in '91. As we rejoin Carl Ravage and the gang, he'll explain how the Yanks got this far.
Thanks very much. Just how have the Yankees grabbed a 3-2 lead? Well, many factors have contributed, but one is the depth of these two teams. Paul O'Neill gets hurt, so you move Tim Raines into the outfield, move Darryl Strawberry over to right. Facing a lefty, put Cecil Fielder at first, Charlie Hayes at third, sit Tino Martinez, sit Wade Boggs. There is a money factor as well. Depth and money. Here's Gary Miller.
When Luis Polonia flied out with the winning run on base, it was not only the last out ever in Fulton County Stadium, it meant Atlanta is now an astonishing 0 for 20 pinch hitting this postseason.
Our bench is okay, just hasn't come through yet.
In Game 3, Polonia drew a walk to put the tying run on, but got caught stealing. Ryan Klesko came up on the 10th of Game 4 and struck out. Terry Pendleton made the last out. While Cox's bench consists of unproven prospects like Perez, Mordecai, and Arald, as well as Varicose Vein Betts, Pendleton, and Polonia, Joe Torre has a tough time deciding who should start and who should sit.
I'm very fortunate to have players on this team that have been regular players on other teams. So when you can go dip into the bench, it's not like you're pulling somebody out who's just a part-time player.
If you see the guy they got on the bench, you know, it's pretty scary. You know, you really don't want to face those guys. You know, it's the same thing that, you know, it's a guy that is playing there. So, yeah, they got a strong bench.
You can put Charlie Hayes in there, you can put Wade in there, you can put Tito in there, you can put me in there, you can put Straw in there. You can put anybody on our bench in the game, and we can win. And I think that's what we have an advantage over a lot of ball clubs. We just have an abundance of talent.
We got guys on here that can play for anybody. And, you know, fortunately, Joe's used us enough. Guys have gotten their playing time. You know, we have a lot of options to go to.
Guys have been making sacrifices all year to, you know, do whatever the manager think is best for the team. And I think that's what has kept us together.
So what's the real difference between the New York extras and the ones Ted Turner has invested in?
About $20 million, which is the difference in our payrolls. They've got some depth.
We have 25 guys, and they really use 25 people.
Our starters play a lot. That's the way for the last 6 years they have.
If we're going to go out and win 2 games in New York, we're going to need all 25 guys. At some point during those 2 games, we're going to need more than just our starters.
The Braves have had absolutely nothing coming off their bench, a streak that, as John Smoltz put it, has to come to an end. But this has been a streaky team. They won their first 4 postseason games, lost 3, won 5 in a row. Now they're trying to end a 3-game losing streak. But they hope one trend continues. The road team has won every game in this series, and in order to keep that intact, the Braves may finally need to deliver in a pinch. Carl, back to you.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. And that hitless at-bats by the pinch hitters is, by the way, a record for futility as far as Atlanta goes. As for the bullpens, well, everybody talked about Rivera and Wetland, but it's actually been the middle relievers who have been so tremendous for the Yankees. The Braves, their middle relievers have not gotten the job done, and in fact, Mark Wohlers has struggled a little bit as well. Rejoined by Dave Campbell and Peter Gammons. And you look at the job Joe Torre did, for instance, in Game 4 with all the bench people, all the bullpen. I'm still befuddled by the fact that it was Boggs and Wetland, his last two available guys.
Well, John Schuerholz is right. It does make a big difference when you have $18 to $20 million difference. Where's it going to show up? It's going to show up in your bench, in your bullpen. But I think one of the big factors that we're coming back to New York with a 3-2 Yankee lead is the fact, just the opposite of 1991 in the third game when Tom Kelly ran out of players and Rick Aguilera had to hit because Tom Kelly had never managed in a game without the DH. Joe Torre and Don Zimmer are National League guys who have a lot of experience, and Torre knew to hold back Wade Boggs, have him ready for the crucial moment. But so this has been a series of a lot of unpredictabilities.
Yeah, really. I mean, the fact that we talked about the bench and the bullpen, that has come true. But the other pre-series analysis, number one, we talked about Game 4 was going to be so pivotal. Denny Nagel was favored over Kenny Rogers. Everything went according to form until the 6th inning, and then all of a sudden, the swing game in this series, the Yankees rallied to win it. And then we talked about the defensive outfields, and we gave it easily to the Braves with Andrew Jones, Marquise Grissom, and Jermaine Dye. Yet they made the big mistake last night, and Darryl Strawberry with a broken toe made a great catch, and Paul O'Neill with a pulled hamstring saved the game. I mean, we can do all the pre-series analysis we want, but they got to play it on the field, and the Yankees have made the plays.
All right, Peter, quickly, you were out here when the sun was still shining on Friday. They were doing more than practicing baseball, huh?
They were practicing for tomorrow night. The security crew had one guy jump out of the stands and run out all over the field, and the rest of them would chase him and try to capture him. They kept doing it over and over and scouting for it. They will be using the prevent defense.
Security will be a very, very big factor here at Yankee Stadium. For Dave Campbell, Gary Miller, and Peter Gammons, I'm Carl Ravitch. Back to SportsCenter now, and don't forget, we will rejoin you Saturday, SportsCenter, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with all the reaction from Game 6.
Carl, one word, Ricola. NFL news coming up, and it's not good news for San Francisco receiver J.J. Stokes. He could be going under the knife rather than going long. We'll also get with Chris Berman in his 2-minute drill. He's Mr. History. White to Pearson. Master control to commercial.
We moved to South Brunswick for the quality of life people enjoy here.
My family has let South Brunswick improve for over 3 generations, and the best is still to come.
In South Brunswick, at the local level, your vote still means something.
We listen to people so we can help solve their problems.
Working to control municipal spending.
And we continue to protect open space.
Your vote for Ted Van Hessen and Mike Hajak says you're proud to live in South Brunswick.
The race for Middlesex County Board of Freeholders, more than just an election is at stake. So is our quality of life. That's because Republican Roger Craig cut deals with developers and the state's largest polluter, destroying open space, threatening our environment. And even after his tax scandal, Republicans put Art Haney on the County Board of Taxation. The Republicans just don't get it. Vote Dave Crabiel and Camille Fernicola, the Democratic team. They'll protect our quality of life.
God, if you created all men to be equal, what's up with Nicholas?
Jack's incredible, isn't he? I throw wind at the guy. I throw rain. I give him a big appetite. The man just keeps on winning.
He ever ask for your help?
All golfers do. You remember Augusta in 1975? Jack was not alone.
Is Nicholas the greatest golfer you'll ever make?
Tough to say. Got some outstanding new talent I'm in the process of creating, but I'm still tinkering. Settle down, Ginger.
Welcome back, everyone. Time for the NFL medical report. Things are looking grim for Niners receiver J.J. Stokes. Team doctors have recommended he undergo surgery on his wrist, which he injured in practice last week. Stokes is currently seeking a second opinion. Buffalo's Steve Tasker will be ready to go against the Pats on Sunday night. Jim Kelly, the AFC's lowest-rated passer, has to be happy to hear that. Tasker opened the season by spraining his left foot. More bad news for the G-men on Friday. The Giants learn defensive back Felipe Sparks will be out 3 to 4 weeks with a broken bone in his left foot. Sparks is the team leader in picks with 2. And Amani Toomer, he's out as well. He will miss at least 3 weeks with a partially torn right ACL. So the team leader in TD returns will be out of the Giants lineup as well.
It is 2-minute drill time, and this time Chris Berman is going back in time. Chris can do whatever he wants. He started this place. Roll Chris Berman.
Another road schwam, and perhaps a historic road schwam. They've come to shut down the launching pad, and you can't shut down a famous sports building without the Swami. I mean, the Swami was there when they shut down Ebbets Field and the Polo Grounds, not to mention the Montreal Forum and the Boston Garden. The Swami was even there when they shut down the Roman Colosseum and the Parthenon. So certainly, here we are on the launching pad. Admittedly, not as much history as some of those other buildings, but in 30 years of existence, such great moments. A lot of them provided by these current Atlanta Braves. World Series moments like when Tom Glavine nailed it down last year against the Indians. Other World Series moments not so friendly for Atlanta fans. Dave Winfield, the big hit. Toronto won the series on this field in '92. Who could forget the 9th inning, bottom of the 9th, 7th game, NLCS, '92. Francisco Cabrera, the hit. Sid Bream chugging around third, and the Braves are on their way to the World Series. And yes, there's some fellow by the name of Henry Aaron who hit a historic home run, number 715 here. With all this baseball merriment, not too many people are talking Falcons. They're 0-7, and why should they here in Atlanta right now? But the Falcons played a lot of NFL games here, and the most memorable, 1980. The Falcons under Lehman Bennett and the Grit Splits were 12-4 and had the #1 seed throughout the NFC playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys came to town. The Falcons led 27-17 with 6.5 to go. But Danny White, the Drew Pearson touchdown, got it close. Then, under a minute to go, post pattern, Danny White, Drew Pearson, 23 yards. Dallas beat the Falcons 30-27. A very young ESPN announcer was on the scene.
The Atlanta Falcons had the Dallas Cowboys where they wanted them with a big lead in the 4th quarter. But Dallas stared playoff elimination right in the face. Came back when it counted in the waning moments. The Cowboys had triumphed again, this time 30-27.
Wow, that's a scary sight. Lots of hair, one chin, lots of brain cells. I vaguely remember that guy. By the way, back to that game. It can be argued that the Falcons franchise has never fully recovered from that loss. They were Super Bowl bound that year, and the Schwam's going to go out on a limb. They're not going to the Super Bowl this year. Maybe what the Falcons need, though, is just a couple of buys. But do buys really help a football team? The entire Norris division, except for the crime dog, Fred McGriff's favorite team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are coming off a bye. Dennis Green, it means lots. He is 5-0 as Vikings head coach after a bye. Remember the game in '93 against the Green Bay Packers? Jim McMahon to Eric Gulliford in the last minute, setting up a winning field goal as the Vikes won 15-13. Well, this year, teams coming off buys are only 11-11. And since they started the buys in 1990, it's barely above a 50-50 proposition. Now, against the spread, which occasionally the Swami looks at, also just 11-11 coming off buys and a little below 50%. So having a buy isn't a great advantage. The most confusing game on the card has to be St. Louis at Baltimore. Is this the St. Louis Rams at the Baltimore Ravens? Is it the St. Louis Cardinals at the Baltimore Colts? Weren't the Rams once the LA Rams? Actually, weren't the Rams once the Cleveland Rams? Weren't the Ravens the Cleveland Browns? Didn't there used to be a St. Louis Browns? What? The only thing not confusing, the Swami's record last week. Hey, the six-pack went 5-1, make us 20-17 for the season. 17 teams in the NFL have winning records. 12 of them play against each other. The rule of thumb, games between two good teams, take the points. We'll do it 4 times. In the Jimmy Bowl, Jimmy's new team wins it by a hair. He's got Dan Marino back. Miami to upset the Cowboys 20-19. Tom Capers and Ray Rhodes will throw everything at the young quarterbacks, Kerry Collins and Ty Detmer. I'm staying on the Panthers 16-15 at Philly. 2 Eastern leaders nobody talks about, Indy and Washington. They're not exactly Brezhnev and Tito, but Indianapolis 17-16. And on a Nitro Classic, 6 field goals for Steve Christie. The Bills over the Patriots 18-17. Basically, all these games are too close to call. Then again, all of a sudden, so is the World Series.
Chris, thanks for filling up the show. Chris and all his brothers will be giving you inside football dope on NFL Countdown Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. The big stories, 2 words, Jimmy, Jerry, 2 more, Marcus Allen. And in the evening, return to ESPN if you had left and view all the games, condensed, primetime, Chris, TJ, and the judge.
Terry Lamonte's 32-point lead in the Winston Cup standings is so important he'll risk life and limb to maintain it, literally. The explanation when SportsCenter returns.
Golfers, here's an opportunity of a lifetime to play with the same driving iron that PGA professional Mike Smith used to drive a ball a world record 335 yards from the fairway. But that's not all. This amazing club automatically corrects hooks and slices. The controller's explosive power comes from its oversized head. Its uncanny accuracy comes from a patented curve across its hitting surface that automatically reduces the abnormal spin caused by off-center shots. Ordinary irons will hook or slice off-center shots into the rough. The controller keeps them on the fairway. No other iron can do that.
Finally, I can murder the ball without losing it.
What an amazing club. I've cut 6 strokes.
We know that if you hit the controller 3 or 4 times, you'll never play with a fairway wood again. You must hit longer and straighter and cut at least 5 strokes instantly or your money back. Call the number on your screen now and cut 5 or more strokes, guaranteed.
Today, it's a Big Ten doubleheader on ESPN2. First, Coach Barry Alvarez and the Badgers invade East Lansing, where they'll meet a Michigan State squad looking for revenge. Then, Michigan hopes to keep the Little Brown Jags safely in Ann Arbor as they try to contain Minnesota's offensive onslaught. Wisconsin, Michigan State at 12:30. Michigan, Minnesota at 7. Today, only on ESPN2.
News from around the National Hockey League. Colorado's Claude Lemieux could miss up to 3 months if he has to have surgery to repair a torn abdominal muscle. He will test the injury in practice on Tuesday. Montreal Canadiens netminder Jocelyn Thibault suffered a broken finger in practice on Friday. He'll be out of the net for 2 to 3 weeks. And also on Friday, the Penguins acquired left winger Peter Klima from the Kings for a conditional draft pick next year. Klima is goalless in 8 games thus far. Kenny?
The Winston Cup points lead is in Terry Labonte's hands. One of his hands hurts. Labonte broke a bone in his left index finger during practice Friday for the second-to-last race of the season. To Phoenix International Raceway here, and looks like Cheech and Chong had taken over the wheel. Labonte went slamming into the wall. Said the throttle stuck, then the brakes went. Bad combo. The plan to outfit Labonte with an orthopedic doodad designed to help him get a grip, which is quite necessary when it's driving that he does for a living. A sandstorm put qualifying off from Friday to Saturday for Labonte and the guys, so Labonte is Winston Cup's Iron Man, and he's running a record 535 consecutive races now. He wants that streak and his 32-point lead on teammate Jeff Gordon to increase this Sunday. Now, if he can't get it together in time for Saturday's qualifying, he does have the option of entering the race with a provisional, but that would place him at or near the back of the field for the start. Another option is to start the race. We're going through a lot of options here, aren't we? Then give way to a relief driver who would be on the track to earn points for Labonte.
Kyle Petty is recapturing his childhood and racing Hot Wheels next year. On Friday, Petty announced that the primary sponsor of his racing team in 1997 will be the Mattel Incorporated Hot Wheels toy vehicles. The deal marks the return of Petty to his father Richard Petty's enterprises as a driver and a car owner. His car model was not announced, but he'll likely stick with Pontiac. It's time for Kenny and I to round third and head for home, but before we go, we'll slide in with a little DYK, a little Breeders' Cup knowledge on the way.
I love my country.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Best city in the world. I like the Midwestern attitude. I love Hawaii.
Buffalo, New York. California. United States of America.
USA.
Nobody knows the athlete's foot like the athlete's foot.
Last night, Lisa Watson got higher than she's ever been. And the only thing she took was first place.
Be 7:30 p.m.
Monday nights, your NFL action starts at 7:30. Mike Tirico, Sterling Sharp, and Joe Theismann take you deep inside the NFL. It's time to catch NFL Prime Monday. Monday nights at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Earlier in the show, Kenny was kind enough to think of the underdog, mentioning Rick's Natural Stars entry into the Breeder Cup's turf. The long shot is listed as 99-1 odds. That is not a first. There have been 20 horses to go off at odds of 100-1 or greater in Cup history.
You know what? That raises a question. Did you know only one of those sure losers actually won? R. Kong won the Breeders' Cup Classic in 1993 at 133 to 1 odds. The payoff was the highest ever, $269.20. Those prices are official and set the next post for 23. Thanks for having cable television. We're done. I'm Kenny Mayne.
I'm Jason Jackson. Wayne Pearson coming your way with Ultimate Outdoors. Stay tuned.
Enjoy.
This has been a presentation of ESPN.